Part 47. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 461. Tao Ran didn't agree to the serious job that fell from the sky. But she was very willing in her heart. She used to work for companies and capital, but this time, a national TV station directly wanted to hire her, which made her feel a lot stiffer. That's all she's worried about now. The other party said it was a charity film, so she wouldn't get zero pay for starring in it, right? After all, even if the upper TV station didn't pay the film, there would still be a bunch of stars who wanted a backer and they couldn't wait to participate. Tao Ran was embarrassed to ask directly about the remuneration, so he could only pretend to be interested and let the producer's sister talk more. The producer thought it was interesting and was extremely patient with her. The public service films will be divided into 4 parts: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. One set of promotional videos will be shot in one season, a total of 4 sets. The public service announcements will be broadcast throughout the year. Tao Ran raised her eyebrows. Does that mean she has to work for a national television station for a year? Thinking about your face being shown on TV every day, it feels very fulfilling, right? As a spokesperson, you mainly participate in the public service announcement at the beginning of the film. So it won't take up too much of your time. We will only shoot once every 3 months, with a total of 4 shoots, and each shoot will not take more than 5 days. If you are willing, we can also talk about the MV shooting of the theme song. If you are willing to participate, your working time will be approximately 7 days. Of course, if the first program is successful, you may be invited to participate in guest appearances or starring roles in subsequent public welfare films. That can be discussed later. Hearing this, Tao Ran was determined. Aren't you the best choice for them? I have to work for 3 to 7 days at a time. They need traffic this time, but ordinary traffic stars are anxious to make quick money. They can't wait to catch 3 or 5 announcements a day, and they can't wait to film 3 dramas in one go. They squeeze out so much time to shoot projects with low returns. Public service announcements may be difficult. She is also a top player, has a lot of time on her hands, and her strength can definitely crush the traffic. Besides her, who else is more suitable? This public welfare film has received great attention from the higher UPS. After the film comes out, it will be broadcast on 1, 2, and 4 sets at the same time. In addition, our official website and official WeChat account will also be used for publicity, and we will even set up a separate operations department. Several overseas channels will also broadcast it. If the film is produced well, it will not only be able to participate in the TV awards competition at the end of the year, but also represent the country in overseas TV awards. Tao Ran's smile deepened. She was sure that the other party was 100% sincere to her and was only here for her. They want to win a prize. Not only at home, but also abroad. They have value and are well received in the Asia-Pacific region, which will be a great blessing for them to win awards. Although you have withdrawn from the entertainment industry, this exception is that it is a charity film after all and cannot be regarded as a film and television work. You have always been keen on doing charity, and we are also very sincere. We hope you will consider it carefully. If you are withdrawing due to your previous statement, if you have concerns, our TV station can say a few words on the official WeChat account when the time comes, so that public opinion will not make a fuss about your withdrawal. Tao Ran, this sister is so considerate. This eliminated her last concern. As far as I know, you haven't made any such public service films, public service advertisements and public service MVS, right? If you have this opportunity, don't you want to challenge yourself? If you can win an overseas first-class TV award trophy, it will be a great blessing to your acting career. My career has come to a complete end. Tao Ran, sister, can't you see that I'm very interested? Please tell me the key points. Salary, how is the salary package? Sure enough, everyone thinks too much of her, treating her as an otherworldly fairy, right? Producer John. Taoran couldn't bear it anymore and interrupted her. I don't have a company, an agent, or a team right now. Once I want to take on this kind of job, I'm afraid I'll have to reorganize a team. I'm just an unemployed vagrant now, and I'm afraid I won't be able to support them. She spoke plainly about her situation. The rumors outside are true. I live in a rented house now, and the shabby car in front of the cafe belongs to me. I only have a total deposit of less than 200,000 yuan. I was originally looking for a job. If I work for you, if I don't have enough I won't go with the income. Taoran said this shamelessly. She repeatedly told herself that she was not embarrassed, it was others who were embarrassed. She anticipated several reactions from the other party. But she never expected that the producer would directly shake her hand warmly. As long as you agree. Money matters are small matters and can be discussed slowly. We will assign an agent to you in the office. You can take your assistant to him and he will help you with everything that needs to be negotiated. Affairs. Your assistant's fees and income will be paid by us. We will provide you with manpower. If you need anything else, just ask Shanshan to tell us. As for your treatment, we will apply for it and will not let you do it in vain. Producer John laughed and said. Our budget is quite sufficient. The next day, a contract came into Taoran's hands. She became a contract worker on national television. She has a formal and stable job with very good benefits and high insurance. For the next year, she received a monthly salary that was enough to cover her expenses. Finally, she no longer has to sell her itinerary. She finally no longer has to worry about how to make money. Until her illness is completely cured, having an iron rice bowl is the best thing. Shanshan also cheered, she could finally return to Taoran again. Sister, I just love working for you. No, from now on we will all work for the TV station. Sister, are you quite happy? I'm so happy. Taoran raised the work permit around his neck. I heard that the canteen in Yangtang is very good. With this ID, I will have one more place to eat in the future, I no longer have to eat noodles cooked by myself. Rejoice! The public welfare film will start shooting in a week. The dedicated Taoran never disappoints anyone. Since the public welfare film emphasizes green water and green mountains, the first stop was Josegu and Guilin. The director's expectation was that the distant view of green mountains and green water would slowly get closer with a red leaf under the aerial photography, and gradually freeze on a bamboo raft in the Jiku mountain stream, and finally stop on the hand oar of the man in white on the lone boat. The wood pulp drew a string of water drops. The water droplets danced, reflecting colorful light in the sun. The camera was slightly tilted upward, and the extremely gorgeous autumn scenery contrasted with the elegant face of the man in white who was paddling gradually. This is a close-up of Taoran. Her appearance must be beautiful and proud, her temperament must be otherworldly, and her entire aura must blend with the environment. The most important thing is that she still has the strength. Looking back with a smile, she flipped the paddle in her hand and pushed out the camera that had landed on the water. She seemed to catch a red leaf floating by inadvertently, and then flicked the red leaf or an orchid into the clear sky. In the mountain stream at the bottom. The most important thing is to ask for one shot to the end. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 462. As the opening scene, this scene must be stunning. One shot requires very high details and actors, so the director was prepared to spend a whole day working on it. But Taoran gave him a surprise. After one rehearsal, the official filming started in one go. The entire film crew watched the film several times. Everyone has only one feeling, perfection. The scenery is beautiful, the people are beautiful, and the scenery is beautiful. The expression is just right, the movements are just right, and even the grabbing and landing of the red leaves at the end are just right. There is almost no post-processing required. The director almost cried. This meant that they gained a lot of time, could shoot more material, and also saved a lot of post-production budget. Teacher Tao, you are truly a treasured actor. Tao Ran waved his hands humbly and smiled, how dare I be called teacher in front of you? When it comes to charity, I will definitely complete it with 120% of my energy. She worked hard to win the old director's favor. The general direction must not be deviated. Correct political ideology is the foundation, and she must also reflect her cost-effectiveness. This old director is the president of the Television and Film Artists Association. If this film is good and he recommends it, she can join the association. Producer Zhang also promised that he would match up with her when the time comes, and her job evaluation would be a matter of course after she joins the association. From now on, she is a nationally certified senior actor and can receive national subsidies. Well, this is the real golden rice bowl. Tao Ran's filming lasted 7 days. She was highly cooperative and focused throughout the entire process. Not once did I cry out that I was tired, never arrived late or left early, and never used a stand-in. Every time, the job was completed to a level of exceptional quality that exceeded expectations. As the old director said, she is like a treasured actor who has new surprises for everyone every day. From top to bottom, she was praised highly. The martial arts instructors and art directors admired her immensely. When filming came to the end, they would have heated discussions with her when designing the movements. They even praised her for her skills, which are more than enough even for behind-the-scenes work. Tao Ran was not overly modest and said that if there is a suitable project in the future, she can be invited. If it is suitable, she would like to give it a try both on stage and behind the scenes. There is a lot of material, and the content available for editing is also rich. So, when the 5-minute opening title and charity song were aired in full, it almost shocked TV and internet audiences of all ages. How can an advertisement be better than a TV series? How did everyone start to look forward to a public welfare documentary after watching the title sequence? How do you make every frame and every second of the picture so beautiful that you want to capture it and make it a screensaver? The rivers and mountains of the motherland are magnificent and picturesque and deserve to be cherished and protected by everyone. A beautiful and outstanding heroine can only be nurtured by the great rivers and mountains of the motherland, and outstanding people are the pride of our generation. The effect of the public service advertisement exceeded expectations. The effect is great, the picture is so beautiful, and the source of the film has become popular on foreign video websites. The feature film has not yet been released, but producer Zhang informed that several foreign TV stations and online platforms have pre-ordered the feature film, and it is a certainty that it will be included in the International Television Awards. Tao Ran became popular again. This time, it was almost all praise. Tao Ran's appearance also surprised many fans who had been calling for her comeback. As for the main theme, no matter how much the marketing account wants to stir up trouble, it won't dare. Therefore, this early exposure of the warm-up title was quite successful. This public welfare film is already popular even before it is broadcast, and the effect is already full. Even the picky old director praised her on several public occasions, saying that she was the most powerful, dedicated, hard-working, and promising young actor he had ever come across. The old director invited her to join the Television and Film Artists Association in front of the camera. This move made her stay at the top of the hot search list for more than 10 hours. You know, the youngest actor in this association was 38 years old. Tao Ran scrolled through Weibo and said with a smile that he had finally reached a new level. She will soon celebrate her 24th birthday. To be honest, I was very nervous. None of her ancestors could live past this age. She doesn't want to die. Every day, she can feel her deep attachment to this world. My birthday is finally here. Taoran lived with Granny Hua. They waited nervously for the clock to strike 12. The minute hand passes the 12 o'clock position. Taoran safely reached his 24th birthday. She hugged Granny Hua and cried with joy. I will definitely survive. When I cure the disease, I will take you home in a few days. She will have to go on a mission again. On her 24th birthday, she was very happy. The internet was full of blessings, and Shan Shan, the foundation, and her previous company sent a truckload of gifts. She received the certificate and membership card from the Television and Film Artists Association on the same day. The old director recommended her for job evaluation, and producer Zhang officially sent her an invitation to participate in the second phase of the public welfare film's filming as a starring role, and also sent her 2 brand new contracts. One of them was an in-depth cooperation agreement in which Yang regarded her father as party A. She knew that such a contract was a precious support and guarantee unmatched by any employer. In addition, she also received a mysterious call inviting her to participate in the recording of this year's Spring Festival Gala. The chief director personally called and said that he was interested in her nationality and her ability to guide young people's values and wanted to tailor a program for her to promote correct values. As for whether it should be in the form of language, song, and dance, or art programs, it's up to her to decide. She agreed. Granny Hua and her late mother both enjoyed watching the Spring Festival Gala. If you have such an opportunity, consider it as a gift to them. The director of the Spring Festival Gala said that he would come up with several plans for her to choose from. In her words, she meant that as long as she participated, the form and conditions would be hers. Even Elizabeth appeared in her dream and wished her a happy birthday. Do you believe me now? She smiled coquettishly. As long as I'm here, you won't die. As long as you help me well and help me with your heart, you will be cured one day. For the next period of time, Taoran had no job, and she started practicing various exercises every day again. Her body also gave her a birthday present. She finally succeeded in drawing the air into her body. That day, after integrating her whole body into nature and experiencing a mysterious sense of transcending the world, her consciousness began to chase and play with those green light spots that had been unable to integrate into her. After a green light spot was brought into the body by spiritual consciousness, soon, one green light spot after another rushed towards her. In the real world, spiritual energy is too thin. It took her 4 full days to finally reach the first level of chi refining. She does not expect to be able to cultivate immortality in the real world. Her goal is to release the hold of the soul and escape from Elizabeth's control. And her cultivation can definitely become her weapon. Once she can control the aura, she can draw the talisman. I believe that one day, she will also develop her own trump card. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 463. Time flies. 3 months passed like this, and it was time to meet Elizabeth again. Taoran went to the nursing home and confirmed that the work would not start until a month later. After telling Shan Shan that she was going out and not to come to her for the next 2 days, he called Elizabeth. This time it was okay. The old witch did not drag her into the fantasy castle again, but directly asked her what kind of task she wanted to do. You decide this time, I will decide next time. Just make it simple and not a survival game. Mr. Bai told her that although tasks in the higher world can avoid Elizabeth's surveillance, if she only does such tasks often, it will easily arouse Elizabeth's suspicion. So he suggested, do it once, slow down once, and try not to let Elizabeth's attention be on her. So this time, she let Elizabeth make the arrangements. Elizabeth snorted coldly. Survival games are not something you can just go to if you want, it takes too much and is a waste of energy. To be honest, now that the situation between her and Taoran was so good, she was reluctant to send this girl away. That kind of world is quite risky. If she died there, wouldn't she suffer a big loss? Since she had to choose, she would naturally choose one that was similar in world level and order and did not require much transmission energy. Especially the ones with low cost and high income are the best. There is only one kind of world that can make Taoran highly productive. Haha, the entertainment industry. Taoran is best at gaining faith in places like this. Every time she smelled Taoran's scent, her mouth watered. The transmission arrived as promised. Now she feels much less uncomfortable when being teleported, and she no longer has headaches or feels like vomiting. Taoran guessed that maybe this was the effect of the soul's growth. Setting, modern. The scene teleported over was friendly, this time she was lying on the bed. The room was empty. But judging from the chandelier above the head, the bedding beneath the body and the decoration of the room, this is a low-key and luxurious home. Taoran touched the phone on the bedside and found that the back cover of the phone had a mirror. It can be seen that the owner loves beauty or cares about appearance. She then looked at herself first. He looks about 40 years old, without makeup, and if you look closely, you can see that there are already some fine lines in the corners of his eyes. The skin condition is average, the eyes are a little red, the lips are a little dry, and the whole face is a little haggard. But if you put aside these things, if the owner of this body was 10 years younger and dressed up well, she would definitely be a beauty. The eyes are big and the nose is straight. Because of the slightly fatter face, the features of the eyes and nose have disappeared, so the whole face looks quite ordinary. The bed is quite comfortable. Taoran decided to close his eyes and accept the plot. Her name is Zhonglan. She is actually only 36 years old. Due to her living conditions, she looks a little older. Married with a 6-year-old daughter. Once an actor, now a housewife. Zhonglan didn't come from a major, but she was very lucky. After graduating from high school and looking for a job, I happened to come across a casting call for a TV series. She and her classmates went to watch the fun, but because of her talking eyes, she was chosen and got the role of a maid. On the day of filming, the director spotted her again and asked her to play a concubine with only 2 lines. No one can stop luck when it comes. When filming started, a concubine actor suddenly contracted appendicitis. In order to reduce costs for this small-budget film, the screenwriter changed the role of Zhonglan, the concubine, on the spot. Not only did she give her several scenes, but she starred opposite the female lead. She doesn't know anything, but she has a stable temperament. When she sits there, it's like that. So even if the lines were average, they were still fooled. No one expected that this bloody palace drama would become a hit, and all the actors would benefit from it. Including Zhonglan. She also appeared on 2 variety shows with the crew, and she looked familiar. Zhonglan, who originally planned to earn money to make ends meet, entered the entertainment industry. In those years, palace dramas were very popular, and Zhonglan acted in several similar dramas one after another, with good results, and she went from being unknown to being a female lead. Because she can endure hardships and is cheap, directors like to use her. 10 years ago, she ushered in the highlight of her life. A small-budget fairy tale drama that everyone expected to be a bad drama. Because the actress they had agreed to put aside the show at the last minute, the crew, which had already started filming and had no money to delay the negotiation of the actress, could only grit their teeth and let Zhonglan, who had originally cast the 3rd female lead, take the lead. Became the heroine. This drama tells the story of an ordinary girl's rise to immortality. The image, temperament, and character are very consistent with Zhang Yan's. As a result, This small drama that took the root of an online drama went against the public and went from being popular on the internet to TV, where it became an instant hit. Zhonglan is on fire. However, the highlight of Zhang Yian's life was only those 2 years. After that, she took on a few dramas, and although she had good results, she still played the leading role, but she just couldn't break out of her previous roles and she never had a breakthrough. The audience got bored quickly. Her resources began to decline. The company came up with a plan for her, bundling it up for hype. She and Liang Cheng, an emerging actor in the same company, were photographed holding hands while feeding. The effect was very good, the sweet love could overflow across the screen, and they received a lot of blessings, and both actors gained attention. The company struck while the iron was hot and arranged an idol drama for the two of them. The drama is very popular, and the CP of the two is very successful. The company and the two of them are quite willing to be tied up in such a deep way. The two also received endorsements for couple watches and couple clothing. When young men and women stay together for a long time, it is inevitable that they will act like real people. The two really fell in love. This conversation lasted 2 years. Zhonglan accidentally got pregnant. She was not yet 30 and her career had just stabilized. Zhonglan did not want to get married and have children, but Liang Cheng proposed to her. Either get married or break up. Liang Cheng advised her. It is said that she did not come from a professional background, her acting skills were mediocre, and she did not have a wide acting career. Her rise to fame this time was also due to her love affair. As she gets older, continuing to act in fairy tales, palaces, and idol dramas will only make her more and more confused. Instead of continuing to work hard on the third and fourth lines after the breakup, it is better to take this opportunity to retire. After getting married, they can continue to receive endorsements and engage in activities as a couple. It's relaxing and there are people accompanying and supporting each other. Liang Cheng's parents also came to persuade her, saying that their family's conditions were very good, and even if she didn't go out to work in the future, she would still be able to live a good life. Their family will help take care of the children and solve her worries. The old couple were amiable, and Zhonglan, who had lacked family care since childhood, was moved. The company actually recognized this matter. Zhang Yian's development prospects are average, and it will be increasingly difficult to make money in the future. On the contrary, their marriage is expected by the public, so it is better to censor it to the end. Just enough to create the image of a good husband and a good wife, and receive a lot of endorsements and sponsorships. On the contrary, if they break up, the two previous couple advertisements will be gone, they will make a lot less money, and their popularity will also decline. Liang Cheng also sincerely vowed that he would do his best to make her and her children happy and give her a warm home. A warm home is exactly what Zhonglan, a single parent, desires in her heart. She was afraid that she would never have such an opportunity again after missing this time, so she agreed after all. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 464. When Zhonglan and Liang Cheng announced their marriage, the popularity between the two reached its highest level. The wedding didn't cost a penny and we made a lot of money. From the auditorium, wedding celebrations, souvenirs, wedding candies, banquet hotels, and even wedding dresses, wedding photos, and wedding rings and jewelry, there is sponsorship and advertising throughout the entire process. The wedding was broadcast live and made another amount of money. Even the best man and bridesmaid are all newcomers that the company wants to breastfeed. There were actually several tables set up at the main table, and the people sitting there were all big bosses that Zhonglan didn't know. Although the wedding was grand and lively, Zhonglan did not feel any happiness. This is not like her wedding, but more like she is cooperating with the company and Liang Cheng to make money by acting. Liang Cheng, who made a lot of money, didn't mind at all. Just make money for milk powder for the baby, he smiled and kissed her in front of the camera. Right? Earn more money so that you can be more relaxed in the future. Half a month later, they announced their pregnancy. This time, Liang Qing's company accepted advertisements for maternity clothes and folic acid for Zhonglan. When the money comes, let's move to a big villa. With the housing prices in Beijing, you know. That's fine. While Zhonglan was filming commercials, she was also cooperating with the company to generate various buzz. Zhonglan had a big reaction during pregnancy, but Liang Cheng had a very leisurely life during those days. Honey, I will do whatever I promised you. I'm already talking about a few jobs. Zhang Yian's belly was getting bigger and bigger, but Liang Cheng still dragged her to several banquets where he was supposed to talk about work. After I went there, I discovered that what he was talking about was not a job. It's a variety show that talks about milk powder commercials after the birth of a child, diaper commercials, and a good husband. Zhonglan didn't understand. He is a grown man and an actor with a serious academic background. Why doesn't he take the role? Children have to make money for them while they are in the belly, and after they are born, they are also planned to make money, but children have parents. Other parents try their best to protect the privacy of their children, ensure the safety of their pregnant wives, and avoid publicity. Why does he do the opposite? Zhonglan panicked. She had a delusion. She was afraid that with Liang Cheng, they fell in love to make money, got married to make money, and had children to make money. She is afraid that everything is just a means to make money. Fortunately, the villa was finally bought. The villa being renovated gave Zhonglan a sense of security. Liang Chengdu did not go out to work until Zhonglan gave birth. Instead, he took on a variety show, a couple variety show. Zhonglan, who had a big belly, had to cooperate with him to participate. Zhonglan was unwilling, but Liang Cheng told her that the contract had been signed. If you regret it, you will have to pay high liquidated damages. They just bought a house and couldn't afford to pay it back. Zhonglan, who is 7 months pregnant, is disgusted by this. The filming of this variety show lasted more than 2 months. In other words, until the baby is born, it will be recorded on camera. He has not considered himself at all. I have no respect for my feelings with my baby at all. The variety show began taping, and cameras were installed all over their house. Liang Cheng never tired of it, playing the role of a good husband and father who put down all the work at hand and worked hard to take care of his pregnant wife and children. Doing housework, shopping, taking care of his wife, attending various prenatal check-ups and shopping for maternal and child products, he is a perfect example of a good husband. But the third trimester of pregnancy was already uncomfortable. She was always facing the camera and strangers coming and going. She was filmed even when she went to the hospital. Zhonglan, who became increasingly dissatisfied with Liang Cheng, couldn't help but quarreled with Liang Cheng over trivial matters several times. Very noisy. And Liang Cheng was extremely patient every time, as if he was habitually tolerant and wanted to please others afterwards. When Liang's mother came to persuade her, Zhonglan didn't look good either. As a result, the old man cried several times in front of the camera. He also said that her daughter-in-law would gradually become sensible after giving birth and becoming a mother. During the post-production process, the director asked Liang Cheng, "Was Zhonglan like this before marriage? Have you always treated your mother-in-law like this?" But Liang Cheng replied, "As a husband, I think tolerance is the most important thing." This sentence undoubtedly acquiesces that Zhonglan has a bad temper. After the variety show was broadcast, Liang Cheng's image of a good man and a good husband was further deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. When Zhonglan was mentioned, the general reaction of the public was that she was so lucky to have met such a good man like Liang Cheng. Zhang Yian's bad temper was also scolded by many people. Of course, Zhonglan, who was in the stage of giving birth at the time, didn't know this at all. She would not even know that most of the people who scolded her for slandering her and spreading rumors about her were not ordinary netizens. After all, the worse she is, the more Liang Cheng is liked and hurt by others. In addition to feeling unwell at that time, Zhang Lan was also consulting a psychiatrist because of the psychological pressure caused by excessive anxiety. Of course, Liang Cheng, who was busy acting in front of the camera, knew this and didn't care much. During the delivery, Liang Cheng insisted on accompanying the childbirth. When Zhang Lan was in pain, she saw Liang Cheng Zheng and his assistant immersed in checking whether his panicked and nervous expression in the video was in place. At that moment, Zhang Lan felt sad from the bottom of her heart, feeling that she and her children were just tools for that man to make money. When his daughter was born, Liang Cheng cried with joy when facing the camera, and the role of a good father began. Photos of him holding his daughter are all over the internet. Only 3 days after giving birth, the reporter he invited came to the ward to conduct an exclusive interview. Zhang Lan suffered from postpartum depression. That variety show finally ended, and she finally moved into the villa, but her parents-in-law moved in again, claiming to take care of the children. Zhang Lan was told by Liang Cheng that she needed to take advantage of the popularity and immediately start filming a milk powder commercial. But Liang Cheng, instead of taking advantage of the popularity, took on a variety show on a dating show. As a guest, he talked a lot about his views on love and marriage on the show, and gained another wave of traffic by exposing some things about him and Zhang Lan. Liang Cheng was full of joy, but Zhang Lan was so angry that her depression worsened. She called the company to ask why Liang Cheng wasn't given a serious role. But the company told her that it wasn't that they didn't arrange it, but that Liang Cheng just wanted to make quick money by doing variety shows. Part of what made Zhang Lan angry came from her parents-in-law. The parents-in-law before marriage were reasonable, but now the parents-in-law have no bottom line and everything is money-oriented. Not only do they stand by their son in everything, but they also sarcastically say that if Zhang Lan doesn't make money, she should just shut up and wash her hands, cook soup, and take care of the children. As a result, Zhang Lan, who was always frustrated, became seriously ill and lost a lot of her hair. The confinement period was not adjusted well, and the physical condition also deteriorated. She was completely listless and had to take various antidepressants 3 times a day. After giving birth, not only did she not lose weight, but she gained more than 10 kilograms because of the hormone drugs. Zhang Lan regretted getting married and even wanted a divorce, but looking at the chubby baby girl in her arms, she couldn't make up her mind. She grew up in a single-parent family and relied on herself for everything. When she was a child, she told herself that if she got married in the future, she would be responsible for her children, and she would never get divorced until she couldn't survive. She doesn't want her children to grow up in a lack of love, suffer countless hardships, and shed a lot of tears like her. She wants to make a comeback. She actively received treatment and wanted to adjust her condition. But her parents-in-law said that she could not go out to earn money until the child was at least 3 years old. Liang Cheng also believes that his parents are not too young now and there is no reason to leave all the care of their children to their parents. Zhang Lan was stunned. "Didn't your parents say that they would help me take care of the children after we got married?" Liang Cheng sneered coldly, "In short, if you dare to show your face without my consent, I will dare to leave the child to the nanny." Liang Cheng looked his wife up and down. "You really don't have any self-awareness. With your current image and popularity, even if you make a comeback, you can only act beyond the 18th line. You don't earn 1/10 of what I do. Good job, just take care of the kids at home." 6 months later, Zhang Lan discovered a woman's hair on Liang Cheng's clothes. She started to get divorced. "Can you afford it?" Liang Cheng threw the advertising contracts he received in front of Zhang Lan. "The ad is still airing, and the end date has not yet come. Now that we are divorced, we are facing huge compensation. Our villa will have to be sold. Our children will not even have a place to live." He patted Zhang Ian's face. I can tolerate such a yellow-faced woman like you, what else can you feel wronged about? Scumbag. Zhang Ian's scolding was rewarded with a slap in the face. For the first time, she saw this man clearly. Not only does he rely on women and children to make money, he is also lazy, evil, and perverted. He is a complete trash. Zhang Lan asked the company for help and wanted to terminate the contract with several advertisements. But how can the company not make money if it has money? What's more, Liang Cheng has really made a lot of money in the past few years. Therefore, the company not only ignored Zhang Lan, but also spent more manpower and material resources to help Liang Cheng cover up the aftermath. After that, the relationship between Liang Cheng and Zhang Lan became even more tense after being warned by the company to restrain themselves. Zhang Lan was also repeatedly given ideological work by the company, asking her to think more about her children. There are so many fake couples in the entertainment industry who are doing their own thing. As long as they make money, that's fine. When the child turned 3, Liang Cheng received a new variety show, a variety show with children. The heat is nice and fiery. Liang Cheng, who has always been a role model of a good father, once again attracted a wave of fans. In those days, a group of photos of Zhang Lan with disheveled hair were also exposed online. Netizens lamented that Liang Cheng is such a good man. How can Aunt Zhang now be worthy of a male idol? In this situation, the male god still insisted on her, and she should have woken up from her dream with a smile. Liang Cheng got a taste of the variety show with children, and he hugged his daughter wherever he went. He is 30% sincere and 70% acting, and the children are very attached to him. The more this happens, the harder it is for Zhang Lan to file for divorce for the sake of her children. After all, the person closest to Zhang Lan in this world is this child. She couldn't bear to see her child cry. Zhang Lan tried to make a comeback, but her appearance and reputation were affected, and she repeatedly hit the wall, and no one wanted to use her. And she couldn't bear to leave her daughter for several months, and she couldn't find any good work at all. It was a role that I finally got, but it didn't make any splash. As for that director, no matter how hard she tries, she will never be able to return to her previous popularity. My acting skills are average, and my condition is not good, so I might as well go back and take care of the baby. Zhang Lan, who returned home after a year of hard work, could only accept her fate and become a good mother, putting all her thoughts back on her children. Another 2 years have passed. On the day of his daughter Keek's birthday, Liang Cheng couldn't come back from a variety show crew in another place, but an uninvited guest came to the house. A woman brought a boy and kept saying that the child was Liang Cheng's. You said yes. Zhang Lan was very angry. It's baby girl's birthday and they went overboard. What she was even more resentful about was that from the expressions of the old couple, she understood that the existence of the illegitimate child was probably true. They had known about the existence of the third son and the child for a long time. The woman brought out a lot of evidence, including photos, recordings, chat records, paternity tests. She couldn't help but believe it, and she kept saying it was true love. Zhang Lan told the woman to go away and wait for the scumbag to come back. Since it is true love, let your true love come back and deal with it. But the woman sat down directly on the sofa. He is so busy, I feel bad, how can I disturb him? Let's solve it. Either you take the initiative to divorce. Or, compensate me, for example, give me this villa and give me another sum of money alimony. Or, I will expose the existence of this child to the media. By then, both your husband and wife's careers will be in trouble, and the child will also be affected. Zhang Lan sneered. You came to talk to me because he refused to divorce, right? She knew the man's peeing all too well. He's afraid that divorcing me will affect his popularity and damage his personality. He doesn't dare to gamble, so he doesn't dare to agree to you. That's why you came to my door, right? So what? Tell me how you want to solve it. When the two of them were busy talking, they didn't notice at all that the child brought by the woman was also talking to Coco. The child, who was about 3 years old, was holding Coco tightly. Sister, you are my biological sister. We have the same father. But my father said that he loves me the most. You are a girl, nothing. The boy took out his birthday photo. Above is his mother on the left and Liang Cheng on the right. They both kissed him deeply on the face at the same time. There are also words written by Liang Cheng on the photo, to my father's favorite Xiao. Coco was hit hard. She always thought that her father was the best father in the world. But it turns out that I am not my father's favorite person. And in the home she thought was happy, there was never a moment when her parents would kiss her together. These realizations immediately had a huge impact on Coco. She cried and punched the little boy. But the grandparents actually shouted, "Good grandson," one pushed her to the ground, and the other hugged the little boy and shouted, "Darling." At this moment, Coco's world collapsed instantly. Dad's love is fake, and so is the love of grandparents. Coco screamed and cried into her arms. The little boy who was beaten didn't give up. He rushed up and pushed Coco down, who was sitting on the ground. The back of Coco's head hit the coffee table hard. The anxious Zhonglan was caught by Na Sanur. "You know you're in a hurry? But my son and I have been living like this for the past 3 years. By the time Zhonglan got rid of Sanur, Keek was already bleeding all over her head. The frightened Zhonglan called the ambulance and expressed her intention to call the police. The 4 people were stunned and looked at each other. Call the police? Wouldn't that be all over? Liang Cheng's future is completely ruined, and they are still going to be involved in a lawsuit? A second later, the old man hit Zhonglan on the head with a vase. He couldn't control it so much. In short, he couldn't let her call the police. When Zhonglan woke up, she was already in the hospital bed. There was no one around her. Thinking of her daughter lying in a pool of blood, she became extremely anxious. She struggled to get up, but found that she had no strength at all. She fell from the bed to the bottom of the bed, yelled to find someone, and smashed all the bottles and cans on the bedside with all her strength. Even her hands hanging from the water were dripping with blood without realizing it. The nurse came over and shouted, "I'm sick again," then she gave her a shot. "Where is my daughter? Where is my daughter?" In a daze, I heard the nurse say. "Didn't your daughter have her head damaged by you? Have you forgotten?" Then Zhang Yian's consciousness faded. Later she found out that Liang's father knocked her unconscious. While notifying Liang Cheng to come back, he cleaned up the scene and called the police. Sanur was frightened and ran away with her son. And the one who takes the blame is Zhonglan. The old couple conspired with Liang Cheng and told the police. Zhonglan is crazy again. She got angry today because the child's father failed to come back to celebrate the child's birthday. Then she scolded the child for being useless. We said a few words to her, and she hit us, the old man and the old lady. They beat each other cruelly and then showed the bruises on their bodies to the police. The child felt sorry for us, so she pushed and hit the child again. As a result, the child ended up like this. The couple who burst into tears and had runny noses were just as good at creating characters as their son, which made the police investigating the case red-eyed. "Comrade police, our family has been putting up with her for many years. It was because we were afraid that she would beat our children that we moved in together. Now that she is like this, we can no longer live with her. Comrade police, you have to do something for her. We make the decision with our children." The old couple agreed that Zhonglan had hurt the child. Liang Cheng rushed back and burst into tears. He recounted Zhang Yian's various domestic violence behaviors over the years in front of the police and the media, and decided to file for divorce and fight for the custody of his daughter. In court, the old couple took out the injury report and accused their daughter-in-law of wounding. In order to prove that her daughter-in-law had mental problems, Jong Eun's frequent visits to doctors and medication due to depression were brought to the police, further proving that her condition was true. After Jong Lan woke up, she went crazy and smashed things in the ward, and the video of her bleeding profusely became evidence in court that she was mentally ill. During the time Jong Lan was hospitalized, all traces of Sanner and the illegitimate child had been wiped away by Liang Cheng. No one knew that a fifth or sixth person was present when the injury occurred. Therefore, even though Jong Lan testified that it was Liang Cheng's illegitimate son who pushed his daughter, because there was no proof, it became more evidence of her hypothetical mental illness. Later she learned that her daughter Coco stopped talking after waking up from a coma. The whole person is stuck in his own world and is not interested in anything. Because of this, those people will become even more unscrupulous. Jong Lan finally divorced Liang Cheng. The court ruled. The child returned to Liang Cheng. Jong Lan was also forced to receive mental treatment because she hurt others. No one in the world believed her, and no one except her biological father and a former agent had ever seen her. But they didn't believe her either. 3 years later, she finally got out of the mental hospital. But she couldn't find Coco. She finally found an opportunity and put a dagger on Liang Cheng's neck. Liang Cheng smiled ferociously, "I sent Keek abroad. If you kill me, she will starve to death. Do you dare to do it? Don't dare." Jong Lan could only ask him to let her meet her daughter. "Okay. She will return to China next month, and I will make arrangements then." The next day, Jong Lan, who didn't believe Liang Cheng, just walked out of a private detective agency and was covered by a sack. She never saw the rising sun again. The cause of her death, suicide due to depression. Her life was in vain, and her death was more reviled than lamented. A big chapter. I wish everyone a happy National Day in advance. Tomorrow is the last day before the long holiday. I have a lot of work, so there will be no update. Love you. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 465. Jong Eun's wish is to avoid tragedy, protect her children, and regain her life. It would be great if she could get revenge, but she hoped she could live well, understand and live happily. She hopes she can have a career again. Tao Ran sighed heavily. Poor Jong Lan, because her mother died young, her father remarried, and the pain caused by her native family made her afraid that her daughter would be like her after getting on the pirate ship, so she hesitated and did not dare to jump out of the stop-loss. The scumbag saw this and took full advantage of her. She was even more sure that her daughter was a treasure that she could never give up, so she could hold her tightly in her hands until the end. What Jong Lan wants now is wise. A person's own thoughts may change, let alone others. Instead of trusting others, rely on yourself. Especially women. Nothing is as reliable as making yourself strong. Isn't it nice to be beautiful alone? When it comes to your career, you've found the right person. Tao Ran was currently lying on Jong Eun's bed. After giving birth, in order to make it easier to take care of the child, Jong Lan slept in a separate room with the scumbag. Later, the conflict between her and Liang Cheng gradually grew, and after learning that Liang Cheng was playing a lot of tricks outside, the two of them have been separated to this day. Jong Lan also listened to the company's opinions. At first it was to avoid losing money, but now it is for the sake of the children. For the time being, she and Liang Cheng only pretended to be a fake couple, and the two of them lived their own lives. Now, it is the 6th year of marriage between Jong Lan and Liang Cheng. Liang Cheng still rarely takes roles. He prefers doing variety shows compared to the exhausting filming. The pay is high, the time is short, the small investment brings big returns, and the rest of the time is spent having fun. How comfortable it is. In the past 2 years, pop stars have started to sell products. He is very popular in the mother market, so many maternal and infant toys and products often invite him to do live broadcasts. He can go out and talk and drink for an hour or two, and he can earn 6 to 7 figures. How easy it is. In exchange for exposure, it's really a double-edged sword. And this week, he is filming a variety show and will not go home. Taoran brushed his memory, stood up and checked all of Zhang Yian's accounts. He found that Zhang Yian's current deposit was only 5 million, which was not enough to buy a better apartment in the capital. Zhang Lan and Liang Cheng spent all their savings before getting married to buy a villa. Most of these savings now come from the first few advertisements she accepted when she was pregnant. Ever since her belly became pregnant, she no longer had the energy to take care of financial matters. During her lactation period and postpartum depression, she had no time to think about money. So from very early on, all the money the two of them earned together was transferred to Liang Cheng's account. In the past 2 years, Zhang Lan has basically lost count of how much money Liang Cheng has earned each year and how much money his family has now. Every time she mentioned this matter, Liang Cheng would give her a sum of money, usually 100,000 yuan. This is for family use. I never spend money recklessly, and you know it, it's true. He values money, and even when he is playing outside, he is not willing to spend a fortune. I save all the money I earn, and I won't spend it arbitrarily. When my child grows up, he will go to a noble school soon, and he will go abroad soon. I will keep all the money for her. Then she will have to buy an apartment abroad so that we can go and check it out. You have no place to spend money. I value our marriage and will never divorce you, so our money will always be reserved for Coco in the future. You have nothing to worry about. He always talks like this. Zhang Lan didn't have the energy to argue with him, so she could only console herself that the money would be left to Coco in the future. It's the same. So she doesn't worry too much about money issues. Taoran grinded his teeth, feeling a little troubled. She came and divorce was necessary. She has to know roughly the other person's background, right? Although the money in Liang Cheng's account is marital property, it can be divided into 2 parts directly in the event of divorce. But who knows if he has transferred his private collection or if he has any other hidden income. Zhang Lan was in poor health and couldn't tangle with him. I can't let him easily raise his son outside. Taoran entered Liang Cheng's room while Liang Cheng's parents were downstairs. She originally wanted to look for Liang Cheng's work contract, work diary, etc., but unfortunately, she couldn't find them. He is not a gullible person. He doesn't have it at home, let alone leaving it outside. Where can it be? Although he didn't find anything related to finance, Taoran found 2 unopened boxes of family planning supplies. Ha, bitch, so shameless. She also found several gift boxes. It was marked with the names of different women. Taoran thought this was a gift from a scumbag who was out to deceive women. But when I opened it, I saw that it was full of ties, watches, belts and other things used by men. So these gifts were given to him by women. And he had too many targets, and he was afraid of getting the wrong person, so he labeled them all. Besides tut, what else can I say? Taoran took a few photos with his cell phone. Although it is of no use, what if it is used someday? In the innermost part of the dressing room, when Taoran knocked, he felt that the sound was wrong. When I looked for it, I found that there was indeed a small mezzanine. She found a Patek Philippe men's diamond watch. The gift box and certificate are both there. She checked her cell phone and found out, obediently, it was more than 2 million. Ah! She didn't believe that Liang Cheng, a guy who loved money as much as his life, would buy such a watch that he hid in the cupboard and didn't want to wear. So, who sent it? So generous? Taoran smelled an unusual smell. If it is a company or a partner, then he would rather ask for money than a watch. If it was the employer, he would have probably changed hands of the watch in exchange for money. Therefore, it must be something that cannot be seen, cannot be resold, and must be well preserved, so that he can hide it in a corner so carefully. Tao Ran could only think of two possibilities. First, the watch came from something wrong. Second, the person who gave the watch was not honest. It's not a gift from some shady boss or rich woman, right? Don't ask her to dig out the secret. Tao Ran turned on her cell phone again and took several photos of the watch, its certificate, and Liang Cheng's wardrobe. All brand name watches are individually numbered. You can check it. In addition, this is considered marital property, right? Then Zhonglan can also account for more than 1 million. Tao Ran flipped through her phone, originally wanting to search for a local private detective agency, but after thinking about it, she was somewhat of a celebrity, so it was better not to show her face. So she searched Baidu and found 3 investigation shops. In Yang Yu's world, she learned a lot from Zhang Chen, who worked in a security company. Now it's just time to test the seller. She deliberately asked several professional questions to 3 companies at the same time, and finally chose the most qualified company to continue testing. She first placed an order and asked the other party to check the schedules of several celebrities for the next week. The other party got it done in less than an hour. Because Liang Cheng's name was among them, she immediately judged that this shop was quite efficient and reliable. So she placed a second order. She made up 2 certificate numbers herself, mixed them with the real number of the watch, and asked the store to check the buyer information of these 3 Patek Philippe numbers. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 466. Tao Ran also visited several professional security equipment stores in Mubeo, paying extra for air freight so that he could receive it tomorrow. Then she went to Coco's room next door. Another trouble is that she has to be a mother again. She is really not good at pleasing children. Keek is a cute little girl, well behaved and sweet, and she has inherited all the advantages of her parents in appearance. Because of this, Liang Cheng was able to reap wave after wave of dividends from this child. Coco is now in the upper class of a bilingual kindergarten. At this time, she was still in school. Although she was only 5 years old, Liang Cheng, who wanted his daughter to succeed, insisted on enrolling her in many classes, saying that the more she learns, the more she can earn in the future, marry a better family, and have a better life. Tao Ran looked through the drawing book on Coco's table. There are a lot of graffiti and small words on it. Love dad, love mom, love grandparents, hope happy forever. Be good, be obedient, smile more, mom and dad will always be together. I hope mom won't cry. I hope dad will finish work soon. I hope everyone will stop quarreling. The child's delicate thoughts and well-behaved character are all reflected in the paintings. Zhonglan saw each of the children's small wishes. How could she not feel distressed, and how could she cruelly disappoint the child? Only then can we endure for the sake of our children again and again. And this child has been living in lies since she was a child. Later, the cruel reality suddenly hit her, and it was so difficult for her to accept it. The child's wish to have his parents and grandparents together forever cannot be realized, and he must be hurt. Tao Ran has to think about how to minimize the harm to the child. Tao Ran went to the bathroom again and carefully checked his condition. Zhang Yian's mental state has greatly affected her physical state, so now, the dark circles under her eyes cannot be completely covered even by foundation concealer, and her body is swollen and she has no strength. In short, she is in a very bad condition. After all, depression and postpartum illness are not easy to treat. And no matter how healthy a person is, if he is kept in such a home and suffers from anger, he will probably get sick. Zhonglan can't let go of her child. This disease will never be cured. Taoran is not worried about Zhang Yian's overweight. Her puffiness is mainly due to the medicine, and it will naturally improve after she stops taking the medicine and adjusts. Taoran put on makeup, which was a little thicker than before, making her facial features more three-dimensional and sculpting her face a little more. The swelling on her face disappeared, and her overall spirits improved a lot. She chose a long trench coat that covered her flesh and a pair of 5 cm high marten boots, and went straight downstairs. As usual, one of the old couple was basking in the sun and eating fruits, while the other was eating melon seeds and watching TV. They didn't even look at her. "I'm going to pick up the kids today." After saying this, the couple looked at each other. What caught their eyes was the way she put on her sunglasses and opened the door with her bag in a domineering manner. "Why are you so angry? I look like a female gangster in a Hong Kong movie today." "Bah, it's all Xiao Cheng's hard work from head to toe." The old lady's beep was interrupted before she could finish her sentence. "Taoran, Keek and I won't come back to eat tonight." Before the couple could react, she had already opened the door and walked out. "Why? Why don't you come back? What's the reason? How dare you? Keek has piano lessons tonight, so you're not allowed to eat out." Mother Liang had already chased her out. But Taoran had no intention of explaining at all. When Mother Liang trotted to the car, her car had already started, and she stepped on the accelerator, leaving Mother Liang jumping around. Taoran went directly to school. It was still early, the school gate was not open, the children had not come out yet, and only a few parents were waiting at the school gate. Even though Taoran, who was full of aura, was wearing big sunglasses, he was quickly recognized by the parents of Coco class. Zhang Lan is a celebrity and it is inconvenient to go out, so the old couple usually picks up their children with a hired driver. It was rare to see Zhang Lan come to pick up the child in person, and she came so early. Everyone felt it was very strange, and they all came up to talk. He is indeed a star, but he is different. Even though they have gained some weight, their temperament still suppresses them. Taoran had a particularly good attitude. She smiled and took photos with everyone, helped sign autographs, and patiently answered the parents' questions one by one. She quickly became involved with the parents. Everyone has a very good impression of her. Some parents want to add her on WeChat, and she readily does so. Soon, some parents drew her into the parent group, and said that the parent committee needs celebrities, and asked her if she was interested in participating. Taoran told her that she was about to go on a long trip, and today she specially took her children out for a big meal and to play in an amusement park. Everyone asked her if she wanted to join the group, and Taoran smiled and said it was a secret. At this time, Liang Cheng called. Taoran immediately pressed him to death and made a WeChat video call back. Answered in seconds. Then Liang Cheng's furious face appeared. "What's the matter with you?" Undoubtedly, he came to ask questions. However, just as Liang Cheng was about to curse, his face immediately changed. On the other end of the phone, a group of women crowded in front of the camera. They all bared their teeth to greet him, forcing him to switch expressions. "Husband, these are Coco's classmates and parents, please say hello quickly." Liang Cheng appeared with his signature fake smile and waved his hands politely. "What a wind! Why do you let yourself entertain these housewives?" "Husband, I'm going on a business trip in a few days, so I came here to pick up Coco today." "What? What? On business trip? What a business trip? Who allowed it? Why didn't she say it before? It's against her." Liang Cheng was angry, but looking at so many faces across from him, his face could only tremble slightly. On the other side of the camera, enthusiastic parents have expressed repeatedly. "Don't worry, Coco's father. When you and Coco's mother are away, if there is a need or situation, we can all help take care of Coco." Yes, Dad Coco, don't worry about Mom Coco. Unlike us yellow-faced women, Coco's mother is so beautiful, she should have worked long ago. Being a housewife is such a waste. Dad Coco, you can't stop Mom Coco from hiding her beauty in the golden house like this. A group of people were chattering, and Liang Cheng gritted his teeth. What on earth did this damn woman say to those bastards? On the other side of the camera, Taoran was also smiling. Husband, you heard it all, I said it all, you can't stop me. Liang Cheng, let me take a step to speak. Taoran walked to the side under the shade of a tree. Liang Cheng was still asking her if there was no one around, but she choked up again as soon as she opened her mouth. Husband, I have to go out to see a doctor. Give me some medical expenses. WTF. I need money for medical treatment. Nerve. I was serious. Hurry up and pick up the kids and go home. Don't eat out. I have to leave for a month. I'll leave the day after tomorrow. Sure enough, there was no sound over there. A friend introduced me to a doctor, and I want to give it a try. She didn't even bother to tell her friends whether she was going to treat depression, confinement syndrome, or to regulate her health. Where she went. Sure enough, Liang Cheng didn't ask. Because he is 100% secretly happy. She was going to be away for a month, so he had more room to play. He no longer had to worry about her going crazy and getting home before 1 o'clock every day. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 467. Give me 500,000. Taoran spoke again and choked on the other end of the phone. How many? 500,000, she had carefully considered this amount. If you ask for more, you will definitely be rejected. Medical bills. Too many. I'll give you 20. If you can't let go, I won't go. If my friend hadn't persuaded me, I actually wouldn't really want to leave. I can't let go of Coco. 300,000 is enough. In the worst case, I will tell those mothers just now, but Keek's father still refuses to let me go to work. You're crazy. Stop talking nonsense, just one sentence, will you give it? You just can't be reasonable when dealing with scumbags. Taoran knew that when he came back next week, he would have to rest for at least half a month as usual. Without him, he would have greater freedom in the past half month. He will definitely agree. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, the scumbag's 500,000 was transferred. The phone rang. In the next 6 months, don't think about getting pocket money anymore. Just treat this money as an advance. Taoran was too lazy to talk nonsense and said oh. The child came out from school and was very happy to see her. Coco said goodbye to her two good friends. Taoran knelt down and told her that she could invite her good friends to have dinner, go to an amusement park or watch a movie together. Really, Coco's eyes lit up. Because her parents have different identities, Keek has been a celebrity since she was a child, so she has never gone out to play with other children. Of course. Mom's treat. I'll take you to steak, ice cream, and pizza. Few people would refuse a celebrity's treat. Taoran went to invite him personally, and the other two mothers readily agreed. The three mothers took their children and set off. After the whole process of eating, drinking, and playing, Taoran bought a toy for each of the three children. The other two mothers had a very good impression of her and said that they would help take more care of Coco when she was away. On the way home, Taoran even chatted with Coco for a while in the park. Mom, this is the happiest day since I went to kindergarten. Mom is very happy too. In the future, can I not go to cram school and play with the children like today? Of course. You can do it when Mom comes to pick you up. In the future, Coco's world is too small. In her world, there are only her parents, grandparents, and grandparents, and she has never experienced that there are many other feelings besides family, such as friendship. Her world is so simple that when crisis comes, it easily collapses. Zhonglan actually has this problem too. Without a true friend, when encountering difficulties, no one can help analyze, guide and lend a helping hand. This makes Zhonglan more and more lonely. Apart from her children, she never has any spiritual support. They all have to change. Mom, there's something different about you today. Very different. What's the difference? Better looking and more energetic than before. In short, just better than before. Taoran held the child in his arms. Actually, it's not that my mother is better than before, but that my previous mother was sick. Because she was sick, she felt uncomfortable, which made it not so beautiful in Coco's eyes. Coco has been sick before, can you understand that? The small hand reached out to Taoran's forehead. Mom, are you feeling better now? Mom is sick. Does it hurt? It's much better when Mom and Coco are together. Coco is Mom's candy. Seeing Coco makes Mom feel less painful. But Taoran hugged her tighter. But Mom's illness has not been cured yet. Mom still has to go for treatment. When Mom gets better, Coco will have a healthy mother. Mom will give all the best to Coco. As long as my mother can get well, anything is okay. Then Coco, give Mom some time. Mom is going to have medical treatment in a few days. Coco, just wait patiently for Mom to come back, okay? Taoran thought about this all afternoon. Zhonglan can't live without her child, and her child has never left Zhonglan. But she had to leave. She had to do a lot of things to recuperate Zhang Yian's body and constitution. But these things were definitely not possible in that home, under the supervision of Liang Cheng's parents. How do you tell your child that she is going out for a while? How to minimize children's dependence? Taoran thought about using a white lie. But for Coco in the plot, isn't the day when the sky falls, the day when all kinds of lies are exposed? Is it too cruel to still use lies to deal with her now? Taoran knew that she would not live long since she was a child. Granny Hua never hid this from her, so she kept working hard to live. The cruel reality made her develop a strong heart since she was a child. So in many cases, the truth is more powerful than lies, right? So Taoran decided to tell the truth. Of course, some techniques are used so that the children can wait with hope instead of worrying. This was the best she could think of. Coco did not disappoint her. Mom, don't worry about me. Take good care of your illness. Come back soon. When you are well, we will play together. Then, I will take Mom to the best place. Then it's a deal. Taoran and Keek stamped their seals. Mom plans to leave the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday, Mom will take you to play for another day. Don't you want to go to a hobby class? Don't go. Great. Mom is the best. The child jumped up with her arms around her neck. Not long after returning home, Taoran was contacted by an online detective agency. 3 numbered messages were sent. The detective agency informed that 2 of the numbers were fake. But there is another number that can be checked. It was the number Taoran wanted to check. That watch is a limited edition, and there are only 10 pieces in total in this country. This number was scheduled to be sold in full on October 5 of the previous year. Later, it was expedited for air transportation and the goods were picked up on October 25. Because it involves VIP customer information, they need to find someone to check, so they have to pay extra. Taoran tapped on the table. Hey, October 28 is the scumbag's birthday. And this watch is shipped by expedited air and will be picked up on October 25, so is this a birthday gift? He can't be a man if he's so thoughtful, right? In this case, Taoran had to investigate more carefully. An hour later, a photo was sent. It was an information photo taken secretly by someone. The buyer is Bella Wang. Bella? Really a woman? I searched around on Baidu, both in Chinese and English, and found that there were so many people with this English name that it felt like looking for a needle in a haystack. She went to the detective agency again and asked if she could find more specific information about the seller. The other party told her that because it was 2 years ago, they couldn't find it. A sudden inspiration came to Taoran's mind, and he used his computer to search for the specific shareholder composition of the company to which she and the scumbag belonged. She has always been puzzled. Speaking of which, Zhonglan became famous step by step through luck and hard work. But the scumbag is lazy and bad, and his acting skills are not good. How did he get the male lead back then? It seems that he suddenly started playing the third male role from an unknown actor. It seems that too many times, the company has no position to stand with him, but also helps him deal with the aftermath. But it is clear that there are several niche students in the company who are better than him. If he is not the most outstanding, how can he get so many good resources? And for so many years, not only has he never thought about changing jobs, he also didn't hesitate when he renewed his contract last time. Looking at it this way, he has a very close relationship with the company. Could this watch delivery person be within the company? The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 468. Taoran didn't find any clues on the shareholder structure chart of his company, GXE Entertainment. But she trusted her intuition, so she searched the company's major shareholders one by one through Tianyan, even their spouses and immediate family members. Finally, she discovered that the daughter of the company's third largest shareholder was named Wang Beilei. Wang surname. The pronunciation of Bella is highly similar. Is it her? After checking again, Taoran clicked his tongue again. This Ms. Wang Beilei is now 47 years old. She herself is very capable, well, capable. She married a rich man at the age of 20, and when she got divorced at the age of 25, she got a share of 100 million. At the age of 28, she remarried a 68-year-old man. She became a widow at the age of 32 and received a large amount of property from the old man. She used a large amount of capital to get involved in the entertainment industry. When GXE Entertainment went public, her net worth increased dozens of times. Taoran went to the gossip account again to find out some gossip about Wang Beilei, and was told that this wealthy woman, the eldest sister, loved to have fun. The reason why she got involved in the entertainment industry was not only to make money, but she was also said to be lustful. Right. Where do so many coincidences come from in the world? Guess, the scumbag is protected by her, right? So every time something goes wrong, the company supports him without affecting his status at all. Even when he was playing around outside, the company only gave him a few warnings, not even a punishment, because they knew about it early on. It turns out that the clown has always been Zhonglan himself. Taoran was so angry that he couldn't help but spend money to dig deeper. After digging, a gossip account took a screenshot of a web page for her and broke the news. The time was 8 years ago. At that time, someone witnessed that the female boss of GXE fell in love with the company's new recruit Liang Cheng, and the two had a secret meeting in the villa late at night. But the next day, the news disappeared. The whistleblower was accused of false accusation and was sent to jail for 15 days. All web pages related to this revelation have also been deleted. Within 2 months, GXE began to tie up Liang Cheng and Zhonglan to hype, the public's attention was diverted, and no one thought about the scandal between Ms. Wang and Liang Cheng. Taoran was angry. Therefore, Zhonglan was a shield from the beginning, used to block everyone's mouth while covering their dirty deeds. Zhonglan was completely plotted and she was a victim. Ha, no wonder. No wonder when Zhonglan and Liang Cheng got married, so many big shots came to attend. Let's just say, with Liang Cheng, he has such a big reputation? Taoran was furious and even more depressed. I thought that just driving the scumbag to death would be enough. Now it seems that the scumbag can reach this point in the plot, and there is always this rich capitalist woman standing behind him. Now if you want to take action against the scumbag, you have to take the power of the rich woman into consideration. This is a bit difficult to handle. She has no money, no power, how can she fight with others? It seems that before finding a strong backer, you still have to avoid alerting the enemy. Just as Chaoran was thinking about it, his phone lit up. The WeChat message flashed. It was Liang Cheng's mother. Tell her to go down and talk. Chaoran just pretended not to notice and turned down the volume on his cell phone to the lowest level. Sure enough, the next second, the phone vibrated, and the call came again. When they first arrived home, the old couple showed off their power and sat in the living room, glaring at each other angrily, looking for trouble. Coco was so frightened that she hid behind Chaoran. Chaoran held the child in hand, but said without any guilt, "It's late, Keek should go to bed. We have to go to school tomorrow. Keek, say good night to your grandparents quickly." The couple did not expect that their daughter-in-law turned a blind eye to them. When I came back to my senses, I saw that the woman was already leading her granddaughter upstairs. Now the couple finally managed to hold their granddaughter to sleep, but they never expected that the woman's performance would be so great. Didn't even answer the phone. Mother Liang couldn't bear it anymore and finally knocked on the door. Chaoran was afraid of waking up Coco, so he could only get up and open the door and go downstairs. "You are getting more and more courageous," the couple lectured. "What's wrong with me? I just fell asleep. It's already 11:30 in the evening. Why don't you let me sleep? Let me ask you, did you ask for our permission when you went out? Did you ask for our permission when you took your children out to eat? Do you still dare to ask Xiao Cheng for money? And you asked for 500,000 yuan as soon as you asked? How many years have you been fooling around, don't you? Do you know that it's not easy for Xiao Cheng to make money? Why are you so shameless?" "Mom, stop talking." Chaoran interrupted. "I need to see a doctor now." "What's wrong with asking for money from Liang Cheng? It's only 500,000 yuan. Liang Cheng and I are married. I'm not working because I gave birth to his children and took care of them. Moreover, it's joint property between husband and wife. I spend some money to see a doctor. What's wrong? Still sharing?" "Bah," Mother Liang jumped up. "Isn't it just a child? Who wouldn't be the same? What female can't do it? You are the only one. If you give birth to a son, your back can be straightened up. You can't give birth to a son, and your husband can't take care of him well, so he dares to be so arrogant. Still depressed? That is a deceptive disease. If you keep pretending to me, see if I don't tear your skin off." Liang's mother pretended to come up, and Chaoran's acting skills showed up. She was frightened, and her feet tripped and slipped. The lamp next to the sofa was hit by her and fell to the ground with a loud noise. Of course, she did not forget to scream and cry, "Now is not a feudal society, how can you be such a mother-in-law? How dare you teach me a lesson? How dare you contradict your parents-in-law?" Mother Liang was furious. The lamp was bought by her son when he went abroad last year. It cost 8,000 yuan. I feel so bad for her. Seeing that Liang's mother was about to rush up again, Chaoran cried again, "Don't hit me. Don't hit me. I know you just care about money. Got it? I just won't go to the doctor. I'll call Liang Cheng right now." She retreated to the corner, took out her phone, and then pressed the recording pause button. Chaoran deliberately provoked the two of them to see if he could grab some evidence first. This recording is quite interesting. She was not allowed to sleep at 11 o'clock at night, was not allowed to take her children to eat, and had to obtain their consent before going out. She was not allowed to spend money, not allowed to see a doctor, she was prioritized over boys, and was subjected to various insults and mental control. That's not all. They also resorted to domestic violence, hitting her at will, beating her until she cried, beating her until she begged for mercy, beating her until she didn't even dare to see a doctor. So this recording is good. Stayed first. As Chao Ran went upstairs, he continued to cry and called Liang Cheng. The phone rang for a long time. Liang Cheng was woken up and yelled angrily, "You're so crazy. It's almost 12 o'clock and you're still up. I have to get up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning to start work." Chao Ran was crying. Liang Cheng. Liang Cheng became even more annoyed. "You have nothing to say, but you have nothing to say. Why are you crying? Liang Cheng, your parents are unhappy with me. So I won't go to the doctor. I don't want any money. You make them feel at ease. Tell them not to show off in front of their children." Then, hung up. Of course, this phone call was also recorded. Tisk, Liang Cheng's behavior is completely different from his usual gentleness and carefulness in front of the public. The entire Liang family is full of teeth and claws. The whole family bullied her. And she was bullied by the whole family, so pitiful. "Sorry everyone, I still have to ask for leave tomorrow. I want to travel far away, I love you more than I love you. It's free on the 5th for a limited time. You can save some money in these 2 days and watch it for free then. I love you all." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 469. Chao Ran walked to the corner of the stairs on the second floor, and the phone rang downstairs. Naturally, it was Liang Cheng who called back. He wanted Zhang Lan to leave, so how could he let his parents ruin his good deeds? "So, I saw Father Liang holding the phone without saying anything for a long time, his face almost collapsed, and after a long while he said, 'I know. Then let her go. We won't say anything else.'" I don't know what Liang Cheng said again, but Father Liang's eyes suddenly lit up and he said excitedly, "Are you sure? That's great." After hanging up the phone, Father Liang whispered in the ear of Mother Liang, who kept mumbling. Mother Liang's expression also changed from gloomy to clear in a second. "Really? Ouch, that's great." Then, her eyes formed chrysanthemum folds from laughter. The two were smiling happily and started whispering on the sofa. "Interesting. What's so good? Can you make these two old monsters so happy?" The corners of Chao Ran's lips curled up, as if she knew. The phone buzzed, and it was from Liang Cheng. "I have already agreed with my parents, you should go to the doctor as originally planned." "Not going." Chao Ran smiled brightly. Now everyone wants her to go, but she doesn't want to comply with their wishes. "Stop messing around. Get cured as soon as possible. I'll reimburse you for your air tickets." The scumbag also transferred another 30,000 yuan. Chao Ran confiscated it, but the scumbag couldn't hold it in anymore, so he called again. His tone softened and he said a few good words to his parents. "Then tell your parents that I have to have a video call with Coco every night at 8:30, and they are not allowed to stop me. If I call you, you are not allowed not to answer. If I still need money, you have to give it." Liang Cheng wanted to curse, but he held it back. "Okay. I will transfer another 50,000 yuan to you. I have recently negotiated a job. If nothing happens, please call me less. The illness is not urgent, treat it slowly. Don't worry about me and the child." As soon as the phone was hung up, the scumbag transferred the money. When something goes wrong, there must be a monster. Taking the initiative to pay for something is obviously a scam. Chao Ran already knew what was going on. 23 days later, it will be October 28th, Shihuo's birthday. Most likely there are already arrangements. The scumbag sent another message, asking her if she could buy a plane ticket. Has the hotel implemented it? He can arrange it. Air tickets can be exchanged for his airline miles. He asked her where she was going and which flight she had chosen. He would ask his assistant to come and explain to her later. Is that too considerate? Tao Ran smiled, only caring now, it was too obvious. The next day, Tao Ran went out early in the morning. Once again, she was so angry that the old couple who had prepared a lot of words to teach her could only stare. Wearing a black hat and a large mask, she went to buy some daily necessities, sportswear, shoes, etc., and then went to the mobile phone market to find someone to buy a black market phone card, which was not her real name. At noon, she had dinner with several mothers from the family committee. In the afternoon, she made an appointment with her former assistant to chat and learn about the recent gossip and situations in this circle. After school, she continued to pick up her children, skipped tutoring classes with her children, and then went out for a wild play session. Being alone together and communicating on an equal footing made the child further encourage her to go out. In this way, Tao Ran was finally able to go out with peace of mind. She went to a southern city thousands of miles away. Of course, this is just for scumbags. Why would she go to a city with such a bad environment? She prefers nature. After arriving in the city, she took another 2-hour drive to a mountainous area and rented an empty house on the mountain. No one there knew her, and no ID was required, but she had her favorite green mountains, green water, and good air. She chatted with the landlord at the foot of the mountain for a while, and the landlord readily agreed to sell her 2 free-range eggs and 2 handfuls of vegetables every day, buy some fish and meat for her, and collect express delivery for her. Tao Ran bought a lot of things online when he went back. With the developed internet, express delivery is now available even in rural areas, which is really good. She bought a lot of medicinal materials that replenish qi and blood. Yutong learned a lot in that world, and now she is making some medicinal food to replenish Zhang Yian's health. Once the environment changed, Tao Ran felt that his whole mood was much better. In the first week, she mainly focused on various psychological adjustments. Immersive meditation among green mountains and green waters can not only relax the body and mind, but also integrate with nature and be close to nature. Jog, walk, go down and up the mountain, feel good. Exercise and hearty sweating are also good ways to vent your depression. She must cure her illness first. This is the basis of battle. Otherwise, how can we fight? How to fight for child custody? How to help Zhonglan conquer the world? The effect is very good. In 1 week, she lost 10 pounds. The feeling of depression that she felt when she first arrived in Zhang Yian's body was obviously reduced. Not only does the complexion of my entire face improve, but half of the dark circles under my eyes have also disappeared. Next, she would get up at sunrise every day to run and practice martial arts, and meditate by the lake or in the forest at noon and sunset. The weight loss effect of martial arts training is very good, and Zhang Yian's physical fitness has made a big leap. I don't know whether it was because she already had experience in the real world, or because the accumulation of 2 worlds made Tao Ran's soul much stronger. On the 16th day after arriving in the mountains and rivers, she saw those green little things scattered in the air while meditating. Light spot. She worked hard to attract those small spots of light, and from noon to evening, she did not dare to interrupt. At sunset, the green energy that had been in her sea of consciousness suddenly jumped, and then she saw 2 or 3 small green light spots rushing into her body. Introducing the air into the body, it's done. Although this world is also thin in spiritual energy, this thing is a process of accumulation. If you add up a little, it will always be useful. In the next few days, Tao Ran prepared dry food and did nothing else except stimulating spiritual energy. After the spiritual energy circulated in the body, the whole physical condition improved a lot, and even the complexion improved a lot. More than 20 days later, Taoran took a closer look in the mirror and confirmed that she had seen it correctly. The fine lines at the corners of Zhang Yian's eyes had diminished. Although her current condition is not as good as the peak condition before pregnancy, she is already many times better than when Taoran first arrived. After this period of adjustment, Zhang Yian's depression has basically disappeared. Her figure has also shrunk by 2 sizes, and her return to size M is just around the corner. This time is quite fulfilling. Taoran also used his newly purchased mobile phone number to chat with several gossip accounts. Just like in Yechin's world, she called herself Little Red Flower, and this time she became Liang Cheng's crazy fan and illegitimate fan. He is still the kind who has a lot of money and wants all the news about idols. Therefore, although she was no longer in the arena, Liang Cheng's every move was still under her control. You know everything from what clothes he wears every day, what announcements he makes, who he eats with, what time he gets to work and home, and even what is served in his lunchbox. In addition, Taoran takes time out to have video calls with Coco every day. Coco was still a little unwell a few days ago, but she also saw through the video that her mother's condition had improved, so she ended the call with joy every time. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 470. Time flew by. Taoran liked this clean and nurturing place very much. But seeing that the scumbag's birthday was coming and her condition had basically recovered, it was time for her to go back. She still has a lot to do. She was packing her bags that day when the phone rang. A call from a scumbag, video call. Taoran didn't answer it in a hurry. Instead, he walked to the dressing table and applied a layer of yellowish foundation on his face that he had prepared long ago. He also used contouring to cover up the look of gray hair and face to hide his true condition. She calmly walked to the edge of the mountain, chose the right angle, and fought back. Liang Cheng breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the background of the call. What about in the mountains? Humph, it feels comfortable, but that's okay. Where is it? He rarely smiled in front of his wife. The doctor said that more exposure to green mountains and green waters and walking around will help my recovery. How is your illness? Coco said you are recovering well. There are 3 courses of treatment in total, and we have already reached the 2nd course of treatment, Taoran said nonsensically. Will the treatment take a long time? Well, according to the doctor's opinion, it's best to take another month. But I miss Coco too much. So I plan to go home after the 2nd course of treatment. I will go back on time. Liang Cheng's facial muscles trembled obviously. I've seen it all and spent all my money. How can I give up halfway? Naturally, I have to wait until I get better before I go back. I will take good care of Coco. But I've only been gone for more than 20 days, and Keek has already lost weight, another nonsense. It's almost 7:30 when Keek gets home from class every day. The child is working too hard. I can't even say a few words in the video. The more I think about it, the less practical I am. Barabara. Liang Cheng suddenly interrupted, starting tonight, Keek will go home an hour earlier. I will cancel a homework for her. Let her have more time to rest and spend more time video chatting with you. Don't worry about Keek. Be sure to do it. Put your body first. The scumbag starts building up his loving persona again. My child and I are waiting for you to come home healthy. Taoran smiled. Ha, how much he wished he didn't go home. However, she also expected that when he called, he didn't have 300 taels of silver here, and he was just following her, but he wouldn't let her reply. So she took advantage of the situation and helped Coco gain some rights. What a scumbag. As expected, it was easy to regress. Promise me, Xiaolan, that you will take good care of your illness. When you come back, we will start from scratch. But Is there enough money? Can I give you some more? Puff. If you say that, it's naturally not enough. Just waiting for your words. Just like that, another 300,000 was transferred. Don't worry, husband. I won't come back for the time being. I will come back after I am cured. One day, if the scumbag knew that all the money he spent on his wife's medical treatment was spent on digging up his secrets, would he faint from anger? Tao Ran knew that Liang Cheng would definitely keep an eye on his itinerary, so he would not foolishly take transportation like airplanes and high-speed trains to go home. She chartered a car. It only takes more than 10 hours to drive back to the capital. After Tao Ran returned to Beijing, he did not go home or notify anyone. Instead, he moved directly into a high-end community. A few days ago, she asked her former assistant Xioxia to rent a 2-bedroom apartment with the name of Sister Xioxia. In the early years, Xioxia followed her for almost 4 years. Later, when she got married and had children, Xioxia returned to the company to take charge of other artists. As a result, she was ostracized and the company forced her to resign. When she got angry, she switched to another company. Now the treatment is quite average, so Xioxia's life is not very satisfactory. After Tao Ran suspected that Liang Cheng had a shady collusion with the company's upper management, he had to suspect that Xioxia was also implicated by Zhang Lan. The company wanted to cut off Zhang Yian's room for advancement, so even Xioxia was dealt with. After thinking about this, Tao Ran asked Xioxia out for a chat a while ago. As a result, judging from Xioxia's experiences that day, her guess may be true. Xioxia missed the days when they struggled step by step from supporting roles to leading roles. She sighed at that time and asked Tao Ran if he really didn't want to come back again. I have long said that man is unreliable. After Zhang Lan gave birth to her child, Xioxia visited her, so she knew that she had postpartum depression, and the reason was also because of the Liang family. I advised you so much back then, but you just didn't listen to me. You. Xioxia sighed. If one day, sister, you want to return to the entertainment industry, tell me as soon as possible. No matter how far you can go, I still want to fight you again. That day, Xioxia told Tao Ran so straightforwardly. Tao Ran trusted this Xioxia. She could tell that Xioxia was sincere and not acting. And Xioxia has always been disgusted with the style of Liang Cheng and GXC Entertainment, so she can use the fact that the enemy of her enemy is a friend. In addition, Tao Ran recalled in detail the struggles Zhang Lan and Xioxia had together. Knowing that the two of them have worked together step by step since they were rookies, Xioxia is very useful, no worse than her own Shan Shan. So Tao Ran decided to find Xioxia as a helper. Xioxia did not disappoint Tao Ran. It only took 2 days to help her settle the rental matter. This place is quiet, with few people and a good environment, which is very suitable for her to live in seclusion. Why, want to rent a house? Xioxia knew that Zhang Lan was back, so she bought the household items in the house, and even arranged the water, electricity, and gas, so that she could move in directly as soon as she returned to the capital. I want to make a comeback. Do you want to come back and help me? Tao Ran poured her a glass of wine. Can you drink? Are you not in good health, or? Xioxia came to grab Tao Ran's cup. Tao Ran avoided it. I'm ready. Tao Ran was even more satisfied with this person who really cared about him. My health has improved, and I am thinking about it, so I want to start a career. But I can't stand it alone. Are you willing to fight with me? It's the same as many years ago. We picked up our previous dreams, set sail again, overcame all obstacles, and moved forward bravely. In the past, Zhang Lan dreamed of winning a Best Actress award. Xioxia hopes to become a powerful agent. Have you made up your mind? Xioxia's eyes lit up. Are you really determined? You won't be tied down by your family. Yes, Taoran raised his finger, making a gesture of swearing. I will make a clean break with that person. I will fight for custody rights. I want to realize my early dreams. No one can stop me. Well, it should have been like this a long time ago, Xioxia nodded repeatedly. Since you need me, I will definitely help you. Xioxia was excited. She told Taoran that the biggest recruiter in their company had been learning acting skills from a teacher at a film school. She had a good relationship with the teacher and could bring the teacher over to help teach acting skills. The company she belongs to is not big enough for Zhonglan to consider, but she knows two agents who are easy to talk to. She knows the two styling teams and their styling styles are very suitable for Zhonglan. She can contact them. Barabara. Xioxia has many ideas and is full of enthusiasm. Taoran became more and more satisfied with her. This is the partner she needs. After my dream was rekindled, I became very motivated. Because of my trust, I didn't even ask about basic salary conditions.